Hi everybody, this is Jen with Pure Bliss Artisan Soap. Today we're making oatmeal milk and honey soap. These are all the things that we're going to be adding to our soap. This is going to go on the top of our soap. That's the oats. Here's our fragrance, oatmeal milk and honey. We're going to be using some ground oats here as well inside the soap, and some goat's milk and real honey. So we're going to begin by putting our lye water into our oils and get the, actually no, we're not going to begin doing that. What we're going to begin by doing is adding the oil to the ground oats, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get that to come together. So I find that by adding that, just a tinge of oil to that and mixing it really good, it's not as gloppy. So, and then we'll add that to our mixture. So this is what I'm doing. It's a little chunky, but what I'm going to do is stick blend that up really quick, so it's not so chunky and it's incorporated thoroughly. I'll move that out of the way so you can see. And it's just a nice additive to your soap bars. A nice gentle exfoliator. And it gives a nice nourishing bar as well. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. I like to pour the lye water down the stick blender so there's less air bubbles. And the oils have come together. We're about 102 degrees. I like to soap a little bit cooler so I have a little bit more time to work with it. But since we're not adding any colorant or anything like that, bring this to a light trace. We're almost there. Alright, now I am going to add the goat's milk into the oatmeal. Incorporate that together and then put it all together with the honey, and I'm also going to incorporate the honey to this one. I just like to have the whole mixture incorporated together so there are no chunks and it's a smooth process once it comes together. And then I'm just going to add a good quarter of a cup of honey, real honey, into it, because again it just makes a really nice skin loving bar of soap. And honey is good for all sorts of things. There we go, it's nice and thick. Okay, so we're gonna mix that in. It kind of looks like oatmeal cookies in a way. So this will be a really nice bar, skin-loving bar of soap. And we're going to also today use a tall skinny mold. It's a new mold and I wanted to try it out, so I figured why not try it out with my favorite soap recipe, the oatmeal milk and honey. I think that was the very first soap I ever made was with oatmeal milk and honey, so we just kind of stick to it and make a good amount of it. So when I began soap making, it was about 10 years ago, and we started because we were intrigued from a homeschool project, and then I dabbled in it here and there, but then this last about 3 years we've really gotten into it more and more. I think as they come out with neat colors and neat molds, it's just a lot more fun to play around with it. It's a nice hobby. I really enjoy it. Kind of helps take stress away. Okay, don't want to stick blend it too much. I don't want to over blend it. So with the fragrance, there is vanilla in the fragrance, so it will change the color to a brown. So that's why I don't use any other colorant. You can look at it there. It's a light tan today, but as the process goes with the drying out of the soap, it's going to turn a darker and darker brown. So it's kind of fun, but that's what causes that is the vanilla content in the fragrance oil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pour it into a little pour spout measuring cup here, because I find that these help give you a little bit more control over what you're doing rather than the big buckets. I like to use the paint buckets because they're pretty durable. So here's the mold I'm using. They're about 2.5 pounds a piece. Just pour that back and forth there. Back and forth with this. There we go. Now on to our second mold. And this is just a real simple bar, nothing extravagant. This is a very good recipe to start out with. It's just a basic soap recipe with your, coconut oil, olive oil, palm to start out with. And then you build from there. You learn the different oils that you like to put together. Sometimes people like to put butters in them, and you just find out what works for you. I know I've used several different recipes, but I finally just came up with my own recipe because it's one that we really enjoy here as a family, and a lot of my customers enjoy it too. It's a real nice, nourishing bar. You don't even have to use lotion after you've used this bar to wash, so that's why I really like it. Okay, so we have a little bit left over, and what I like to do with that, I have an extra 1 pound mold that I use for any excess. So if we have little bits here, I go ahead and put it into there, and then what I'll do is chunk this soap up and put it into another soap recipe. You just add a little festive fun to things, or just gives it a little bit of pizzazz, a nice scent. Or you could just cut it up and use it as small bars in your own home. Whatever you choose to do with it. Okay, so I'm gonna put all these here and just tap the molds out. That way you can get all the air bubbles out of there. Tap, tap, tap. Counter's a little wet. And then here, we'll just tap this down and in there. I don't want to have... So what I'm going to do with this one is drizzle just a tiny bit of honey on the top of each one. Give it something, just a little nice hint, a little pizzazz there. And I have a skewer that I like to use to put a design into them. So I'll bring this down, and then I like to do like a little figure 8. This gives it a nice little design. One down, another figure 8. You'll find to do your own little designs on top of your soaps as well, whatever works best for you. I just like to just put a little hint of something like my own signature on it. And now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the oats on top. And we'll be done with these bars, and then we'll wait for the cutting. So you'll have to wait for tomorrow, but it'll just be behind this video, so I have to wait for tomorrow. You just have to wait a few seconds to see it. And voila, there you go. Oatmeal, milk, and honey. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.